Good morning, everybody. Well, it's been almost 2 months since the last edition of Riffing on Mail Call, and the crazy has been piling up around here in heaps, precariously balanced like those 10-foot high stacks of paperwork that you see in cartoons. But I have sifted it, sorted it, refined it, and come up with a pristine sample, a pure, undiluted specimen of the finest bullshit and irrationality that the good people of Washington County have to offer. The following comments are taken from editions of Mail Call printed in the Herald Mail from November 18, 2010 to January 10, 2011, which can be viewed online in their entirety at www.herald-mail.com. I look at a child and I see an accident waiting to happen. I look at an elderly person and I see an illness waiting to happen. I look at a middle-aged person and I see unemployment waiting to happen. Roarsville. When you look at an adolescent, do you see a sullen, cruel, self-involved, horrible fucking person waiting to happen? Or is it too late by the time you get there? I read the Hello World, and most parents were not married. Get married, parents, and raise your children. Maybe welfare is keeping you. This is wrong. Boonsboro. Right, married people never need welfare. Probably because God always blesses good Christian parents who get married to raise the kids. You know, I don't really see anything wrong with not getting married to raise your kids. Calling into a newspaper to publicly, anonymously pass judgment on a group of people you've never met and know nothing about, on the other hand. Well, my family took the tour of the new Meritus Hospital, and I'll guarantee you that is something we can really be proud of. It is state-of-the-art. I mean, it is really amazing. And it's really too bad that 2 years ago, 5 people or so held up that hospital and made it cost so much more money. They probably just didn't realize what they were doing, because I'll tell you, if you see this hospital, you're absolutely going to love it. And as I said, we can really be proud of it. Sharpsburg. Sounds like a really impressive facility that the whole community can take pride in. Except, as I drove by the new hospital yesterday, I didn't notice the word hospital on any of the signs. It may have been there. I saw Meritus Medical Center, but no hospital. I know that the Robinwood Medical Center does not contain a hospital. Therefore, I wouldn't assume that the Meritus Medical Center contained a hospital. During an emergency trip, I would look for the word hospital. If someone asked me for directions to the new hospital, I am not certain if I would remember to tell them that the new hospital was in the Meritus Medical Center. I remember when 911 was starting, it was explained that they wanted the public to remember 911, not 9/11, because during an emergency, they didn't want people looking for the number 11 on the telephone. Using that same logic, I believe that the word hospital should be prominently displayed in order to avoid any confusion, especially during an emergency. Smithsburg. The sort of logic you're referring to is what I might call catering to the stupid. If I were a social Darwinist, which I'm not, I might say that we, as a society, nay, as a species, would be better off without the people who would bleed to death looking for the 11 key on the telephone, just as we would those who would vainly circle the gigantic new Meritus Medical Center looking for a sign that said hospital. This is such an issue, though, this confusion between medical center and hospital, that it even made the Herald Mail's Frequently Asked Questions article that it printed about the new hospital a few days before it opened. What are people afraid of? That a man and his ready-to-pop pregnant wife will jump into a taxi and say, "Take us to the hospital," and then the cabbie will turn around and say, "Sorry, we don't have a hospital in Hagerstown," and then just sit there mutely, waiting for one of them to utter the phrase medical center? Ever watch the show Medical Center? They must still show the reruns someplace. Sure looks like a hospital to me. And it's not just the new hospital. It's the hospital. It's the only one we have in the whole county now. So if you drop to your knees and clutch your chest and croak, "Take me to the hospital," we're all going to know where you want to go. But That's not the only problem people around here have with the new Meritus Medical Center. This is about the new hospital, I don't know how to pronounce it, out at Robinwood. I think that is the dumbest way to get in and out. How do you go to the emergency room? You're not going to walk there, that's for sure. I think that is dumb and stupid. Mount Lena. Meritus. 3 syllables. Mer-it-us. The last place was called Washington County Hospital, which was 3 times as long. Learn 1 new word. Would it kill you motherfuckers to learn 1 new word? Granted, popularity contests are not used to either prove or disprove scientific theories. However, the fact that 99% of scientists support the scientific theory of evolution speaks volumes. It has been my experience that people who claim that no evidence supporting evolution exists have never bothered to look for it. Instead of simply regurgitating information off creation websites, do some honest research. The "I didn't see it, so it didn't happen" argument is fine for a child. I'm sticking with 99% of scientists. Fairfield, Pennsylvania. Sounds like the only rational option for lay people like ourselves, Fairfield. However, not everyone thinks so. Here's a response from Greencastle. Concerning the comment by the Fairfield, Pennsylvania caller saying that 99% of scientists support the scientific theory of evolution speaks volumes, well, Fairfield caller, keep on believing that theory. I'll keep on believing that there is a God and creator. But you and other scientist believers, yeah, you keep on believing the theory in evolution. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that, to see God's creation. You don't have to look far. That's not much of an argument. No evidence claimed, no attempt to rebut any facet of evolutionary theory. Just, you go right on believing that, I'll stick with God. I've heard something like that before recently. The Boonsboro Caller saying that 80% of Americans believe in God and all, and why does you atheists get upset about that? Yeah, the Boonsboro Caller was saying about believing in a person that don't exist. Well, you'll find out someday, Boonsboro Caller, along with you other non-believers. Yeah, the day will come when you will find out for sure. Greencastle, Pennsylvania. That's all you've got? Go on and believe what you want, you'll find out someday? No argument at all? Just some lame tough talk capped by a weak-ass attempt at a threat? Do you guys know what this means? We win! I was in the store the other day buying for my kids, and I saw where now they have marshmallow candy in the shape of trees and snowmen, but I can't figure out why they don't make them in the shape of Jesus. He is the reason for the season. I think we all need to think about that. Hancock. I thought about it for about 3 seconds and realized that Jesus has nothing to do with the reason for the season. The actual reason for the season is the degree of tilt of the Earth's axis relative to the plane of its orbit around the sun. This is known as axial tilt, or the obliquity of the ecliptic. And as it happens, they do have marshmallow candy in the shape of that. It doesn't matter when Jesus was born. It just matters that God had decided the whole world will celebrate and honor the birth of his son. After all, God drives history. Greencastle, Pennsylvania. Does it matter that God got the date so wrong? This is just a comment on them denying you taking pictures of your newborn. They are letting visitors in 24/7, but yet parents can't take a picture of their newborn? Don't you think the birth of a child should mean something special to them? And as long as they are out of the way and there's no complications, Hagerstown. Yes, there's a new rule at Meritus Medical Center, also known as the hospital. Cameras have been banned from delivery rooms for 5 minutes following delivery. Once doctors and nurses check on both their patients and determine that the mom and the baby are doing fine, Pictures are allowed. You can snap literally thousands of pictures of your newborn baby that you'll look at once or twice and then never again for the rest of your life. Unfortunately, some people around here were so caught up in venting their reflexive outrage at the first part of the new rule that they must have missed the second part. I just read David Limbaugh's column in the Herald Mail, December 29. Very, very good column on the Bible. We need more of David Limbaugh and less of Alan Powell. Need more Pennsylvania. Alan Powell writes what, one column a week? One column a week dedicated to science or history or viewing culture from something other than a right-wing perspective. Yeah, that's the problem with the Herald Mail. We need less of that. And finally, a conservative-sounding citizen from Sharpsburg weighs in on ending the military's ban on openly gay service members. I really like Pete Waters, but I was very unhappy with his column the other day, where he suggested that gay soldiers serving and dying for our country and our military can be equated with the forced euthanasia of our aging population. What is wrong with you, Pete? There are a lot of liberal ideas that are ruining the country, but the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell is a great step forward. Get a clue. Fucking A. Grow up and get over it, Pete. And everybody else who has a problem with boys who like to kiss other boys selflessly serving their country in the armed forces. Good on you, Sharpsburg. That's it. Feels good to be back. Thanks for watching.